Welcome to Honestly Rated Aladdin fans, and today we're going to be talking about your favorite flying monkey, Fling Kong. Fling Kong is a cool character. I never really paid much mind to him when I was younger, just because it was a character that never really sparked anything to me. I don't really like apes, I won't lie to you right now. They kind of scare me, actually. And I never really found the air element to be that cool, so never really paid much mind to him. But obviously someone out there was, because I'm doing him now. And honestly, I'm happy I went to him. Coming back with a, greater mind and taking a lot more things, a lot more critically, I definitely think he is a greater character. But we'll get into that all later. I just want to say thank you guys for watching, obviously, or hopefully you're going to watch. And tell me if you guys want me to add anything to these videos, what I could do better. Definitely helps in making these videos better. And I do truly support it. And I will take suggestions on characters you want to see next. So, leave it in the comments. So, without further ado, let's get into why Fling Kong's even a character in the beginning. With a quick search on Google and looking at the Skyline Wiki, I can tell you exactly why Fling Kong is a character in lore reasoning. So, Fling Kong is a royal protector of the monkey idol, Kubla Wa. He trained Monk Ru very seriously. This is what he technically fights with, and it's fighting with air. That's really all it really says. It's just fighting with the air. And he would train very seriously, bro. This guy is a rise and grind type person. He will be in there training, and he'll be the last one out for training. This guy is on that grind. So take a little bit from Fling Kong here. But obviously, like every single Skylander lore, something bad has to happen. And he has to save him. So some gorilla goos come to the temple. They see this idol right here, and he's supposed to be made out of pure solid gold. And obviously, the dollar signs come into the eyes, and they want some of that gold. So they were going to take it, but Fling Kong, training, rising, grinding, understood how to beat the fuck out of these guys. So he took his little air frisbees right here, and he just beat the shit out of them. The story went around across Skylands, and now he's a Skylander because, Master Yan's like, yeah, that guy, why not? Let's make him a cool protector of Skylands. And now he's here. So, cool. Now, what's next on our chopping block? Is to actually go look at the moves. Let's go look and see what Fling Kong can do in the games. No more lore. The first two moves that Fling Kong can learn is Power Disc and Magic Carpet Dash. And this is also a perfect time to tell you what type of character Fling Kong is. Fling Kong, while playing as him, really felt kind of sluggish, right? Like, for a guy on a magic carpet, or at least a flying carpet, you'd think it would go a little faster. But no, he's kind of slow. And he's a range unit, so he can't really defend himself when things are up close, which kind of sucks. But he does have this Carpet Dash. The Carpet Dash is just a quick way to get away from enemies and kind of go through them and trip them up. Now, it's not fast enough to the point where you can just kind of bypass a lot of attacks. It'll probably still hit you. And it's also not fast enough in the beginning part where if something is going to attack you, you probably will still get hit. But the nice part is that you can go through enemies with it. And if you time it right, you won't get hit, right? Like, it's how it works. And then his other move is just him throwing the frisbees. Nothing much else. These two moves I don't really see a lot of parallel in. One is just a getaway, and then one is to help. I guess you can see it as you get away really far, start throwing things, then, go through Carpet Dash to enemies, and then start throwing more. But I don't know. A lot of his moves feel sluggish. And I don't know if to, like, really say it's bad, because I don't really think it's like that bad, but it's definitely a lot less working than some characters got. Like, some characters got really fast, really high damage things, and I don't really feel it from him. So I'll give it like a mid, right? It's pretty middle ground, but maybe a little less. The next two moves are going to be Spiked and then Cymbal Crash. And the reason I'm putting Spike and Cymbal Crash together is because, well, Spiked is just a damage upgrade. And since I think I did level up from the last one, this is like a 3 damage increase, which is, alright, whatever. Damage things usually aren't the coolest thing to ever look at. But the next one is actually going to be his moves, his next move, his last move he can learn, and that's Cymbal Crash, which gives him an up-close priority move, which is pretty cool. So now we have the whole trifecta here. We have a nice projectile, which is slow. We have the dash, which is supposed to be kind of the faster move of the 3, but still kind of slow on the startup, I would say. And then you have the Cymbal Crash, which is also pretty slow in design. It can work as a projectile if you do angle it in where the circles are coming from, but it does also work up front and it does 45 damage, most damage than any other of these moves are going to do. So that's your damage dealer, but it's also like nothing special. And what I mean by nothing special is as it doesn't do anything else, right? It's just there for damage. It looks cool. But after that, there's nothing else to it. There's no like side effects to it. It's just a move. And I think it works pretty well. I do like the trifecta there. It creates everything that you ever need, and boom, like that's really it. I don't really see it too good. It's slow. It can work, but since it doesn't like stun or push away or anything like that, a lot of enemies still end up hitting you. It's really good for damaging, but if you're not killing them, you're probably gonna get killed if you sit there and wait, especially at higher tier levels. So, it's alright. Next up is Mad Dash, which is actually kind of unique for a primary path. It actually does like add on to a move, so hopefully this won't cut into what the secondary paths can be, but what this allows you to do is hold up the button and you'll do a little spin, and if you hold it enough and it gets to the red point, or this kind of like purplish pink color, you can let it out and it does more damage. So in a way it kind of acts like a damage like buff, but it kind of makes you do a lot more, and even like the little circle thing does enough damage to the point where like chompies and cockroaches that do try to jump at you, they will get hit first. So I don't know, it's like a nice get away from me tool. Kinda, right? Like you can do more damage. It obviously takes time. It goes wacko at some points. If you just keep holding it down, like that purple color just keeps on going. I find that kind of funny. But yeah, it's like a damage upgrade, but not. It makes you feel like you're doing a lot more to impactfully deal something, and it does add, right? Like it's a unique animation. Cool. The last move before we go to the secondary path is going to be Kong Clash. This is kind of a repetitive move, right? It's doing the same thing that the last one did, but except for the symbols. You hold it and you do more damage. Wow. Now, they do say it adds stun to the enemies, but this stun lasts for almost probably like 0.5 of a second. You know, we're hitting the milliseconds with this one, and it really doesn't do much because of it. If it lasts longer, then yeah, I think it would make the symbol clash a lot better. And I definitely think there would be a point to holding it. Obviously, you're doing more damage, so there is somewhat of a point. But they tacked it on, making it seem cool, but then like you actually do it, and it's just kind of like you don't even notice it. And if you stun an enemy and then you like hold up the move again to do it at the same enemy, I've seen it sometimes not even apply the stun afterwards, so the enemy still hits you, right? I definitely think a better position that they could have done here was just more of just a pushback, because the carpet and this do somewhat of a pushback, but it's not like a fling. This guy's named Fling Kong, but we ain't flinging shit. The only thing we're flinging is the fucking symbols. Maybe your controller if you get mad. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, it's fine. I'm glad that they tried to add something like that, but they didn't do it enough, so it's basically unnoticeable, and it just feels like, you know, a rinse and repeat of what we just had last time. First, we're going to yip-yap about the top path, which is called Disc Jockey, which is supposed to improve our power disc. And the first thing that we can learn is Trick Shot. Trick Shot is a pretty nice move, and a move that I really think a lot of projectile characters should have and makes a character a lot better. And this one, they actually kind of group it. So it allows for the projectile to go through the enemies and bounce off walls. Now, since we are playing in the arena, it's kind of hard to notice the bounce off walls, but I promise you it is there. And it does help in tight corner situations. You know, rooms that are normally a lot more centered in, and if you have a bunch of enemies coming through there, yeah, this is going to be definitely great. Do I kind of wish it just was... I kind of wish it was just bouncing off of things and characters. I think if we had to like do a little tier list right here, right now, going through enemies is kind of lower through, just because sometimes enemies are kind of put through in like a little mosh pit where you can throw it and it hits a bunch of things. But I find it more beneficial when a character is able to launch something and it bounces off the character to hit another thing. I don't know, it just creates this little loop, and it kind of looks a little bit better. But I promise you, the bounce off walls and putting that honestly makes it pretty nice. So even though this doesn't show it, I promise you it's a pretty good upgrade. And it's at least unique, right? We're not holding down no button no more. We are just spamming, and we're living the high life. Next up is Smash Hit, but not the character, just another fucking confusingly named thing because Activision is so good at naming things and is so creative that they had two things in the same game named the same thing. Good job, Activision. But Smash Hit is a combo move, which I don't think they really did after Giants. Giants, they loved fucking combo moves. Any character in Giants usually had a combo move. And you'll see later there's another combo move. But what this allows you to do is that you're going to be able to ride your little carpet, and then you're going to be able to do a cymbal clash at the end. This has the purple effect, and I think applies the supposed stun on the enemies, but is generally weaker than just a normal cymbal clash. So you're not doing a lot of damage, you're doing a good amount. You do get the quote-unquote stun, and it's cool, right? I like it adds, right, uniqueness in it. Cool, yeah, it adds a little bit. The name of it was unique, but then they copied it. And then just kind of how it's implemented, I kind of see how they wanted it to work, but it doesn't do a lot. Like, it's the symbols themselves, I think, is a pretty just weak move in general, and that is going to be a kind of a complaint in the later end. So if you want to like scribble that down and kind of wait for it, I just think Fling Kong's just kind of a weak character in general. A lot of his moves don't do a lot of damage, especially for a character that is from Trap Team. Usually you kind of expect this type of damage output to be from characters later, or I guess farther back in the game, like Trials Adventure and Giants and shit like that. But I don't know. He just doesn't kind of do a lot of damage. I should put that in there. If I pause there, it would seem a lot more rude. But yeah, it's cool. At least it's unique, but it doesn't really add a lot to gameplay value in my opinion. Last one on the top path is going to be a toss-up, which is going to allow you to hold down your power disc and you'll be able to throw a bigger power disc in the air and make it come from the space and Mars and Jupiter and maybe even Saturn. And I really like this move. Since it's big, it does actually have a big hitbox. Does a little bit more than just the normal power disc, so it does feel at least a little bit stronger. And like he like shoots slow enough to the point where I'm like, yeah, if I just hold it down, I'm probably doing the same amount of damage, but I'm doing it to a larger array of characters, so why not? Right? Like, since his moves are kind of slow, a lot of these charge up ones do kind of feel a little bit rewarding, but some are more rewarding than others, and I definitely think this is one that is definitely like that. So pray to the cosmos, because sometimes this flying disc never comes back fucking down, you know? It's like a boomerang, right? You have to throw it right, and if you don't, that shit ain't coming back. And if you don't throw this towards an enemy, it ain't coming back. So make sure to look at your enemies when you're doing this move. Next thing we're going to talk about is Carpet Captain, which is his second path. And this is going to deal with this carpet, which the first move is called Smash and Dash. This is a fun move, I won't lie. Are you going to get hit a lot? Yes. Is it a fucking silly move that sometimes wants to work and sometimes doesn't, and does whatever it wants at any point in time? Yes, yes, and more yes. What this move allows you to do, or what it adds on, is that anytime you hit an enemy, you will have an extended time to use your carpet. Now, the carpet is really kind of wacky. With this, you can sometimes sometimes you can move wherever you want, right? You can be the most slipperiest man alive. Think of it as like a slip and slide. Those shitty rubber ones that you poured like your hose water into and it fucking had a stream of water. Now, sometimes you can go down that stream of water just fucking zooming, right? Like, you'll go crazy and you'll go in one direction, right? But if you get a little wacky with that slip and slide and you kind of twist and turn it, sometimes you will go flying and you will go in circles, and you can. And you can just go round and round and round, and eventually the game just tells you, all right, you had enough, you're gonna fucking stop, you have to do the move again. And then sometimes you'll go back in the straight path, but then sometimes you go fucking wild again, go round and round and down. I don't know why. I haven't figured out why you would do this, but I find it really fun. Like, I love just spinning and just hitting a bunch of enemies over and over and over and over. And this activates every time you hit an enemy, not even just kill. So every time you're hitting an enemy, you're just extending. And sometimes you go sideways. I don't know why, but it's still fun. I don't know. I find it fun. It's funny. It's funky. It's what's another F word? Fucky. Yeah. Yeah. It's the triple F. It was super cool and nice. I like this one. Next up is Double Whammy. You're going to do another combo with this bad boy right here, and I know how much you love combos. And I think this one is definitely better than the other one, because the actual combo does more damage than the base move itself. So you just do a dash first, then you hold down your symbol button, you throw down 2 symbols that have a little electricity inside of it. Does the electricity do anything? No. But at least they're honest about it, right? The other one tried to like trick me by saying it can stun and shit. Nah, this one, fucking nuttin'. But it does more damage than the symbol. It does go through, I'm pretty sure. Like, it's just woo, you know, it's just wee. So, that's pretty cool. You don't even need the top path for that bad boy. And I find it pretty cool and pretty nice. And it's kind of whatever, though. I'm a little respectable, so I'll say it's nice. But, it's kind of still whatever. Last up is Shock Treatment, which this one goes out for the one Zap fan that I can see in my comments. Because it's basically what Zap does. You're going to go on that magic little carpet of yours, you're going to rub it against the floor a little bit, and you're going to create a little electricity path. And it lasts for a while, it does 7 damage, it does more than the little spin you do if you want to hold down your button for a little bit. So you know, it's pretty nice. And since you have that funny little move where if you hit an enemy, you go wacko, if you can get that spin going, like if you can somehow actually find out to manipulate that spin to always work, this shit goes crazy, you know? Like I love the little chip damage. Is it doing a lot? Maybe. Honestly, maybe. Yeah, you probably expect me to say no, but I honestly think it probably does a lot. Especially for his low damage. Just anything just helps just a little bit more to make the damage feel a lot more adequate. And I definitely think it helps. And I definitely think this path is definitely the path to go down. You can definitely go with the symbol one. I don't think the symbol one's bad in any way. You know, the bouncing off of walls, the fucking just going through enemies, the one you toss up from the ceiling and hope to God it comes right back down. Not bad. I think the combo's worse than the other one, but I think this one's just a lot more goofier and a lot more fun and a lot more sillier. So, yeah, if you like silly, go with silly. If you don't like silly, don't go with silly. Last thing on Fling Kong's mind is to make it rain on these bitches. And that's what his soul gem's all about, baby. You're going to hold down that circle button until he turns into pink gas. And with that pink gas, he's going to throw down a bunch of frisbees on you and maybe hit you if the game decides to. And sometimes these frisbees will perfectly align to somebody. Like, these frisbees will just narrow onto somebody, right? Like, this move reminds me of, like, a Final Smash. Like, even if I can get a little bit more specific, it reminds me of, like, Lucas's or Ness, you know, PK Starstorm. Hey, PK Star, you know, you start throwing shit down. This is exactly what it is. And I like it. I like it. It's pretty cinematic for, you know, a soul gem. You don't really got a lot of those. He goes out the sky. You can't get hit. What is there to hate? It's a good one. I might be a hater. I'm a D1 hater sometimes, but this one I do like. I do like it. So, good job, Fling Kong. Soul Gem, pretty cool. After taking a look at Fling Kong's whole moveset and talking to Aladdin just to kind of make sure I get like the expert opinion on monkeys and flying carpets, what do I give Fling Kong at the very end of this all? I give him a 4, and maybe even a 4.5. I definitely think he's a character that has a lot of creativity, and I really don't hate his moves. I definitely think there are some overlap, you know, especially with the hold buttons and the combo buttons. You know, there was that little bit of that, but it made it feel unique, right? If we think of it through a little bit of a kid's perspective, I definitely would rather have a move tell me to do something to make it seem cool, or doing 2 moves to do another cool move, you know? Because if you just get these fucking tangentializing upgrades where you're like, hey, you are faster, hey, you are more damage, and you get more defense, it feels a lot more lame. Because, like, after that, it's not like the move does anything for me. I just look a little cooler. I maybe have a little bit of a cooler, you know, mojo on there, but nothing else. I got a little bit of swag. But with these ones, you do actually do something, and it makes you feel like you're doing a lot more. So, at least I can commemorate for that. And they only used 1 damage upgrade. Not even, like, a defense up or anything like that, even though maybe he could have used it. Maybe. But I feel like it would be a little hypocritical if I did say that, so I just think he's a little weak. And that's my major complaint with the guy. I think he's a little slow with a lot of his stuff, and he's a little weak. But I definitely think if you just went up the path, it takes away a little bit of the slowness, especially if you go with the one that I picked right now. And, yeah, that's my honest rating on Fling Kong. So, tell me below, what do you think about Fling Kong and characters you want to see in the next episode? Because I like picking, I don't like choosing, because I want to cater to you guys. So, thank you guys for watching. subscribe if you want to see more stuff like this and maybe any other thing that I do before. I do fucking live stuff where I show off shit and other games because I'm like cool like that. Because I'm a really pro gamer. And I hope to see you in the next one. Peace and make every day a great day.